Trial is underway in Kansas City, Missouri. A police officer accused of involuntary manslaughter in a 2019 shooting. The first time a white officer in the city has been criminally accused of killing a black man. The U.S. fully reopened its borders with Mexico and Canada and lifted restrictions on travel that covered most of Europe as well as other countries. Jolie Dubeni is a traveler from India. She hasn't seen her boyfriend.
I can't even explain in my words how happy I'm on cloud nine, I can say. So here we are together.
7 suspected hackers linked to ransomware attacks that have targeted thousands of victims have been arrested since late February.
I'll get you started with Ray. You got my headphones.
North Dakota lawmaker and an organizer of a rally to oppose coronavirus.
I'll get you started with Ray, and then I'll head out.
And won't person says he's quarantining. He is taking the deworming drug ivermectin.
Or I could use the garbage can, I guess.
A hospital. This is AP News.
Dell Technologies' biggest business sale of the year has arrived. Step up your vision with top tech up to 45% off during their early access Black Friday event. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Plus, get incredible savings on Windows 11 PCs, along with servers, monitors, and docks, all with free shipping. There's also special financing with Dell Business Credit. Get started by contacting your Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
I'm Dr. Andrea Russo, a cardiologist. Maybe you're waiting to talk to your doctor right now, but if you're having an irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, don't wait. This could be a serious condition like atrial fibrillation, which can make you about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you're having these by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Okay. Time now for the forecast from the Boston Independence Group Weather Center. 1 minute. Jerry Doherty today at 877-772-1776. Retirement is within reach.
I'm meteorologist Sherry Spear, and here's the latest Boston 25 weather on radio. CRN looks great this afternoon. We're going to stick with the sunshine and the lighter winds as well. Temperatures also warmer than they've been in the last week. We should get up to about 60 degrees in the greater Boston area and the greater Worcester area as well. Tomorrow is going to be even milder with temperatures going a couple degrees higher. I'm Sherry Spear, and you can hear Boston 25 live for the morning drive weekdays on AM 830 WCRN.
The WCRN News is brought to you by John the Roofer, a leader in the roofing and home improvements business for more than 70 years. Call 866-ROOF or go to the internet and see johntheroofer.com. Here's your disclaimer.
The following is a paid program. The opinions are those of the hosts and guests and not necessarily those of the station or its.
All right, folks, good afternoon. Welcome to the Monday edition of the Joe Mangiacotti Show from the Boxtrop Middlesex Mattress Outlet Studios. I'm Joe Mangiacotti. We're online at tjmshow.com. Follow us on all of our social media platforms at Joe Mangi Show. That's M-A-N-G-I. Joe Mangi Show. Don't forget to play WCRN. She'll do that. No questions asked. We're also live streaming on our YouTube page. If you go to the Joe Mangiacotti Show on YouTube, you'll see a camera. You got the audio streaming there as well as Facebook and Twitter. Our phone lines are open and available at 508-871-7000. That's 508-871-7000. Don't forget our text line is also up and running at 617-297-8388. 617-297-8388. And if you don't have the ability to text, but you have a device, you can email exactly what you're doing. Text Joe on the radio at gmail.com, and it appears on the same screen. Either way, 617-297-8388 or text Joe on the radio at gmail.com. And it comes in real time. If you want to reach the show off air, use the show email, which is just simply joemshow@gmail.com, or message us. You usually do that on the Facebook page as well. All right, let's get into the show because it's a Monday. We have an hour, and we have a lot to cover. And as I mentioned over the weekend, I'm going to invite into the call Raymond Aurora, who is EWTN lead anchor, a Fox News contributor, and author of many books, including his best-selling Christmas book. That's right, it's a Christmas book, and it's called The Spider Who Saved Christmas. And I gave it a quick read over the weekend. It's a very quick read. It's a great little book. So let me invite into the conversation Raymond Aurora. Raymond, good morning or good afternoon, sir.
Hey, Joe. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you for joining me. I got to tell you, I always enjoy watching you on Fox, Raymond. I love your commentaries. You hit it. You're always right on the button. I got to tell you, I enjoy them
Well,
tremendously.
we have a good time.
Yeah.
But we try to. You know, you need to. I always tell people we're laughing through the pain, Joe. That's sometimes all you can do. So
okay, you know what, Raymond? I got to ask you. We're laughing through the pain, right? We have the Secretary of Energy when gas prices laughs in our face. We've got a cackling vice president. What is it with this administration and the people that
but when I say laughing through the pain, I mean the citizenry and we pundits. I don't mean those in charge. So,
I absolutely know that.
They should be fully engaged. And, you know, they're laughing as a device to throw you off the scent and distract you from the responsibilities and the heavy burden that they bear. These people have been elected and chosen and charged with running the ship of state. And so far, the ship is running aground. And I mean, we're the laughing stock of the world right now. The economy's in a free fall. I just filled up gas, which normally it cost me about $30 to fill up my tank. It was $66, and I'm in New Orleans. Okay, I'm not even in California or New York or places where it's almost moving towards $4 and $5 a gallon. So. Yeah. I think we have to be very careful about where we are and hold these people accountable. I don't care what party they're a member of. They need to figure this out and work in the interest of the people, particularly as it comes to energy. When we were energy independent for the last 4 years and producing our own energy, that should be where we live, not only when, Republicans come into office. It's absurd. It's really absurd.
Well, when it comes to this administration, the ship is more like just floating off the coast of California than anything.
Wow. But, and can't get the dock. Yeah,
can't get
now. The dock is.
The news is breaking now. There's talk about closing another pipeline this morning in the news after the Keystone Pipeline, after they let the Nord Stream 2 open up, and Germany is now dependent on Russia for that power source. Now the Biden administration, with ridiculous gas prices, they're talking about closing another pipeline.
Yeah, this is ideology in place of practical policy. And I don't quite understand why you would dig in politically. I mean, his party is hemorrhaging politically. The president is down at 38% approval rating. His vice president's at 28 today in this political poll, or Wall Street Journal poll, rather. It boggles the mind why you would double down on failure at this point.
And in that same poll, by the way, Raymond, it was a 59% disapproval. So not only was it down to 38 approval, but it was 59 disapproval.
Look, the blunder. People are hurting.
Yeah.
And when they can't order Christmas goods, when everything's on back order, when you go to a restaurant, as I did over the weekend, and they can only seat 5 of the 20 tables in the room because they have no one behind the counter working the kitchen. I mean, we are in a crisis that is completely avoidable. There are public policy steps that can be taken, very simple ones, to right this ship. But for whatever reason, the president and those he's charged with running our energy policy, transportation, they're just unwilling to take those steps. In fact, they're doubling down, as you said a moment ago. Yeah. It would be like, Camilla Parker Bowles hasn't been able to stop talking about Joe Biden, passing gas in her presence. It would be like giving him 4 more helpings of beans for the next, UN meeting. This is not how you make things better. Yeah. And somehow they have to figure a path out here.
Raymond, one thing that I don't see, and you think you would see this at this point, if you do everything you just outlaid, right? The rising gas prices, the train wreck that this is, you don't think that there would be a course correction. Yet I don't hear any talk from the president or apparently the people who are handling him, because he always reminds us what he's allowed to say and not say every time he's at podium. Nobody's talking about a course correction or, okay, you know what? Yes, inflation's out. These are the steps we're going to take, or this is what I'm going to do with the gas situation. There's no course correction. It's as if everything in his mind is going to plan.
Yeah, no, this is ideology in place of practical policy. I mean, that's where we are. And I think, I spoke to a congressional leader today, of an esteemed congressman. I better not tell you who, but we had breakfast this morning, and he was telling me how Pelosi has decided she is going to march ahead with this Build Back Better tax and spend scheme that will create government programs and new taxes that will be very difficult to dislodge once they're implemented. But she is marching her party and fully willing to march them off the cliff, just as she did in 2009 with Obamacare.
Well,
and
I was going to ask you
the
that,
political
Raymond.
winds be damned.
Is the left that is so obviously in charge and in influence here, are they willing to just ram everything they can through the obvious loss of probably the House and Senate in midterms, and to be damned with that, as we saw with Obamacare and then the midterms there? Are they willing to sacrifice? Is this a game of chess?
Well, it's a long game, and look, the Democrats are really bright in creating forever perpetual government programs, and the belief is, if we put these programs in place, they will continue. They will garner a support down the road, if not now, and the losses we'll take and have to absorb over the next 4, maybe 8 years, so 2 cycles. They're willing to absorb that because it lays a groundwork for a climate change core and standing taxes, so that they end up funding their own political operations in perpetuity. So they're willing to take the loss now to win down the road. That's the mentality. Whether this pans out that way or not, we'll have to see. But let me tell you, if the Republicans come back to power and they don't remove these standing government entitlements and programs, the climate core and the tax regime that's being implemented, they will not be able to find victory in the future. And that's the math at play. Flipping one state, all they have to do is flip Florida or flip Georgia. One state, and it's all over. It's lights out for the Republicans. So it's a very interesting scheme playing out, but this is a long-term strategy.
Yeah.
And Pelosi's willing to sacrifice a big chunk of her caucus to make it a reality.
Yeah. And so the Republicans have an opportunity right now, because you can't do it a point here and a point there, right? The Republicans have to go in a 50-state offensive move here and just shore up the red states, try to flip the purple states. Should the Republicans look to Youngkin's victory in Pennsylvania as a blueprint of take the Trump endorsement, be grateful for it, but don't put him in front and center. Keep it, as Tip O'Neill said, right? All politics are local.
Right.
And keep it local.
Well, they're going to have to play it by ear. They're going to have to play it by ear and see where it may look. In a place like Louisiana or Mississippi or Alabama, having Donald Trump show up and do a rally for you is the gold standard, and can garner you huge support. For contested areas, it may not bode as well, and you might have to adopt a more nuanced strategy. But look, you see, I'm not really, when you peel all of this away, I don't care if the Republicans or the Democrats win personally, and the reason I say that is I've covered Capitol Hill in my early career for about 5 years. I saw the power of lobbyists and outside corporate money and these groups coming in and buying members of both parties. That's still
Raymond,
in play.
I have to take a break. Can you stick with us, because we're going to talk about this book too?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're on with Raymond O'Rourke, who is a Fox contributor, author, and lead anchor at EWTN. So we'll stick with him. Back on the other side from the Box Drop Middlesex Mattress Outlet Studios, I'm Joe Mangiacotti.
You can talk to your guests.
All right. Hey, Raymond.
Hey, how are you?
Good. So yeah, we're in auxiliary here, so we can chat for a second. Sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you before we went on the air. I usually try to do that.
No problem. But no, I'm delighted to be with you. But this is a brutal political season, and frankly, I'm not sure, Joe. And I'll say this: the problem with the Republicans is when they come in, They lack both the personnel
Yeah.
and the agenda. Their goal is to win. And that's not enough. To stop the bad actors for the time being, that's not an agenda. You have to go in and have a progressive agenda of your own, meaning ripping out these government agencies and melting down these government programs and the tax regime and liberating the people. That's the only path forward. But I don't see that anywhere, Joe. Nobody's talking about that, including Youngkin. I don't know what Youngkin's talking about. Youngkin just said he's going to stop CRT in the schools. Big whoop. What about the rest of the curriculum?
Yeah, and well, that's one of the things is maybe Department of Education, federal level goes away. Do we really need it?
Right.
You know?
Remember Reagan and Bill Bennett? Well, my friend Bill Bennett were talking about this 40 years ago. They never made it happen. So one hopes if Trump is reelected, he comes with a Teddy Roosevelt kind of mandate and levels some of this Leviathan in D.C. That's the only way forward. And whether it's a Democrat or Republican who does that, I don't care. But government's way too big and way too out of control and in our lives, and it needs to get out.
Seriously. Now, do you think Donald Trump is going to pull the trigger on a run again?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I'm getting
and I'll
that
tell
too.
you that because he's already laid the groundwork. And I know people who've gone back into the fold. No, he's laying the groundwork. He's the only guy with a national footprint.
Yeah.
At this point.
You know what they're going to do, Raymond, right? They're going to pull this age thing with him, because the Democrats have no shame in this, right? They'll try to say Trump is too old, whereas his energy level, I don't know 30-year-olds that don't have his energy level.
No, and I'm betwixt and between whether he should run. I agree with what your sentiments a moment ago. It'd be better. Look, when Trump lost,
30 seconds.
I told him I thought he should be the kingmaker, but not run again.
Yeah.
He should go out and be the kingmaker, but he doesn't want to do that. He won't do that, and that's a mistake, I think. But we'll see.
We'll see. All right, we're coming back in a few seconds.
Public Works, or visit keepmercuryfromrising.org. Know your products with Mercury so you can dispose of them properly.
Visit keepmercuryfromrising.org because together we can keep our environment safe. Brought to you by Win Waste Innovations. Performance for the planet.
You're listening to the Joe Mangiacotti Show on Powerhouse Station WCRN and our affiliates. To talk to Joe, dial 508-871-7000, and you can text Joe on air in real time at 617-297-8388, or email textjoeontheradio@gmail.com. And now back to the most interesting man in the world. When he drives a car off a lot, the value goes up. Common sense talk for the common sense citizen.
All right. Oh, no bumper music. All right, we're back. Welcome back. The Box Drop, Middlesex Mattress Outlet Studios. I'm Joe Mangiacotti, and online with us is Ray Aurora. And you know Ray. You see him on Fox News. You've seen his books. And like I said, Ray, I enjoy your commentary so much. I love it when you appear on Fox, and I really do enjoy it. But one of the things you're here to talk about today is your children's book that's out now called The Spider Who Saved Christmas. And I gave it a read over the weekend. It's a very nice story. So let me ask you this. Is this a biblical story, or is this something that you created totally on your own?
Joe, when I was traveling in Eastern Europe many years ago, I noticed in Ukraine, for instance, they have trees decked out with tinsel from top to bottom. And in the branches, there were these little spider ornaments. And I thought, what is this? Maybe there's a Halloween holdover. I don't know what they're doing. But I just kind of filed it away and kept going. Years later, I stumbled across this legend, and it dates back to the 2nd century in Eastern Europe. And it concerns Mary, Joseph, and Jesus on the flight from Egypt out of Bethlehem after the birth of Jesus. And they're running for their lives, and they hide in a cave, and they cross paths with this spider. And she performs a service to them that changes their lives and her own. And I don't know why I'd never heard this story before. No one had ever told it to me. I'd never encountered it. But I thought this would make a great family read for the holidays. It is a legend. It is a dark spot in the scriptures, in the sense that if you read the Bible, it just says Joseph had a dream. He was to take the child and Mary and head to Egypt. And they go. Next thing you know, in Egypt, he has another dream, and it says to go back to home, to Nazareth. So that little quiet moment in the gospel, this legend fills out, and it's a part of the Christmas story we rarely consider. But the reason I think it's touched so many people and have become part of their family traditions last Christmas and I think this Christmas as well, is because it speaks to where we are. I mean, The Spider Who Saved Christmas is about a family on the run, hiding with their family for their lives in a cave. And we've all been, to some degree, doing that for the last couple of years here, protecting ourselves and girding ourselves against sudden death outside. But the point is, if you have the eyes of faith and you have enough love, God will send you great light and hope, even in those dark moments, even when you're hidden away.
Yeah.
And this spider has her own gift, like all of us. And I'll tell you what, a little girl, I was at a book signing recently, and an accidental one. I was just in a bookstore, and a group of families recognized me, and I signed their book.
Don't you hate when that happens? Those pop-up signatures. It's wonderful,
Believe
though,
me,
right?
it's the greatest gift in the world to me when kids come up and they've read the book or read it repeatedly, as they did with this. And this little 5-year-old child said, "I love this book so much," and she was holding it, hugging the book. I said, "Well, why do you love it so much?" She said, "Because sometimes people talk about me at school and they make me feel bad." She said, "But I realized I'm like that spider. I have these gifts, and I'm going to let them shine no matter what people say."
Wow.
She got the core of this message, which is we all have our gifts, and no matter what people say,
Well,
if you share them with others,
yeah.
God will use them to do incredible things, and that's what happened here.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that this is a legend because, and I'm glad that you explained it the way you. Because when I read the story, Raymond, I was like, "Wow, am I supposed to know this? Like, is this a bit?" And I would be very embarrassed about my, my CCD classes and so
biblical
forth,
knowledge.
right? Yeah, I'm like, because I never heard this story before, and so I'm glad. So it is legend, but it's not a well-known legend.
Well,
so.
but Joe, we have the remnant of this legend, the reminder and homage to this story. We've kept alive all these years, but somehow lost the story. That's tinsel. The tinsel we decorate trees with, it's not icicles. It's actually, the tinsel began in Europe, and it was a testament and a display of this story. So it's really the origin story of tinsel at Christmas. So there's a neat tie-in there.
Yeah.
So we've kept the kind of secular display, but lost the story. So I wanted to revive this story, and I think.
Well, you did a fantastic job. It's a very cute story, and it's actually a powerful story. And I was very, because it was a very easy read and so forth. But if you have a chance, I did put the link up on my Facebook page so they can easily get to the website. If you want to run the website, you're welcome to do that too. But they can get it on my Facebook page, folks. You can just go there, click right over, unless you want to share with them another way to get to it, Raymond.
Well, they can go to Barnes & Noble and Amazon. The book is available there. I'm also going on a book tour starting this week in Tampa, Florida. I'm hitting 7 cities, Arizona and Dallas and Houston and New Orleans. So I'm doing a tour of, basically of the southern states because it's where I can travel now and where everything's open. So I'm really looking forward to that in the next few weeks because I didn't get a chance to tour last year because of the COVID restrictions.
Yeah, there's been some courts have upheld kind of a stay on some of these mandates. Do you think that the country has just got fed up with being told what to do, how to do it? As you pointed out, these restaurants can't staff after being forced to shut down for a year and a half. Now they can't even staff their restaurants because they're competing with paying for, the government's paying people to stay home. They got the mandates coming down. We saw the parade in New York, was it last week, right? That the mandates were kicking in and just people marched across the bridge. You've got lawsuits going, and I'm very I guess surprised that one of the biggest voices against mandates, not vaccines, right? Make the difference. Just because you're anti-mandate doesn't mean you're anti-vaccination. Coming from the NFL and the NBA.
And not only that, I mean, you've got rappers, you've got all these sports stars, who are coming out. It's a very interesting array of people, unexpected collection of people who are opposed to these mandates. And we'll see how this shakes out. But the fact that our Fifth Circuit here in New Orleans, the federal bench, the Fifth Circuit, they came out and put a stay on the mandate. And I think you're going to see more of that in these federal courts, and eventually it will wind its way to the Supreme Court. But I'm not sure if this vaccine mandate, the way it was constructed, and it is brilliantly constructed, I have to tell you, by making the businesses the enforcers.
They deputized the businesses to do the work.
Yeah, no, they laundered this out to the businesses to do it. And we'll see if it holds up. My suspicion is that the constitutional arguments will prevail, and it will be struck down. But, I was telling somebody this morning, you also have to be very cognizant of what politically is happening here. My guess is the Biden administration pushed out this mandate, not only because it helps all of their friends in the big pharma, but more importantly, it serves as a huge distraction from the massive government spending and new programs that are being forced upon the people in the Congress. So while everybody's fighting over vaccine mandates, the real long-term effects that will touch you and your grandchildren's lives are happening beneath your nose in the Congress.
It's a classic.
Keep all of this in perspective.
Yeah, classic. Something shiny over here, folks, and
you got it.
Bang, and this infrastructure bill, was it late Friday night? It went through.
Yeah.
Right. But let's look at. I mean, we don't have time to go into it, but when you start looking at it, there's stuff in there that you have to say, what does that got to do with the infrastructure? And these numbers, they throw numbers around, Raymond. That most of us, maybe you can comprehend 400 or 500 million. That's in your checking account. I get it, but for most of us, once you start talking about hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, never mind trillions, we can't even conceive that, right? It becomes white noise. And we don't understand. And that's why I think that we always have to, when we can, translate that to how we understand that, when your child's born, they have a $360,000 debt on their head type of thing. Right. That's the type of thing that we're going to make sure people understand and why.
It is amazing at this moment we're even talking in terms of $1 trillion. Just to put this in perspective, I believe it was 2019. In 2019, the federal government, for its entire budget, spent $3 trillion. We have spent 4 times that in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay?
Crazy.
And now we're spending more. We simply can't afford this.
We cannot afford.
And when you see where that money's gone, forget it. Yeah. This is a nightmare scenario. And I don't care your party. This is just a matter of fiscal competence and being somewhat accountable to your children and the future.
That's it.
That you're leaving them.
100%.
And if I don't care about your party, you should be aware of that.
Hey, Raymond, we're against the clock. I want to thank you for taking time out, joining me here on the Joe Mangiacotti Show. I appreciate it. I hope you'll come back.
Anytime.
All
We'd love to do it. And they can go to RaymondArroyo.com for all my tour dates, the books, everything.
All right.
You, Joe.
I'll promote that, and I'll say it a couple times, and it's on my social media. Thank you, Ray.
You're the best. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, folks, we're going to take a break here at the bottom of the hour. We'll come back on the other side from the Boxtrot Middlesex Mattress Outlet Studios. I'm Joe Mangiacotti. Don't forget, follow us on our social media platforms at Joe Mangi Show. 508-871-7000. Lines are open and available.
This is Full Service Radio, AM 830, WCRN, Worcester, Metro West.
We used every second that time.
That was great. Thank you so much.
Oh, good, Ray. Yeah, thank you. Fun. I appreciate it. And like I said, please come back. I love your perspective on it. You always cut right through, and you seem to nail it. I love it.
You're very kind.
You
Thank
got
you.
friends
Thanks
over here, brother.
Absolutely.
You all are awesome. Well, thanks so much. And yeah, I'm on the run. They've got me. We're getting ready for tonight's show, and so I've got to run.
Yeah, they told me you had a 1:30 out. What are you on tonight?
Well, I'm on the angle. I'm on the
angle. That's
tonight,
right. Okay.
And we're doing, we're doing cleanup. And I got drafted. We had taped the show last week on Friday and in the afternoon, and then Laura took off for Alabama for that big game, and I got called in at the last minute because they were voting. They voted on the infrastructure package. So I was anchoring that thing blind. It was crazy, but anyway, we did our best, and I think it it hit the post.
Ray,
So
I know
that's all we
you'll
can do.
know what I mean when I say give them heaven, brother.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
So, a tall order. Thank you, my friends.
All right,
Great
Raymond.
talking to you.
Thank you. Take
God
care,
bless.
bud.
Bye-bye.
I'm glad he stayed on for a second.
What?
I'm glad that he stayed on. I don't usually get to
That was
talk to them
good.
after we close out.
Time now for the forecast from the Boston Independence Group Weather Center. Call Jerry Doherty today at 877-772-1776. Retirement is within reach.
I'm meteorologist Sherry Spear, and here's the latest Boston 25 weather on radio 830 WCRN. Looks great this afternoon. We're going to stick with the sunshine and the lighter winds as well. Temperatures also warmer than they've been in the last week. We should get up to about 60 degrees in the greater Boston area and the greater Worcester area as well. Tomorrow is going to be even milder with temperatures going a couple degrees higher. I'm Sherry Spear, and you can hear Boston 25 live for the morning drive weekdays on AM 830 WCRN.
Another marvelous Monday in New England. I'm Ted.
What? Your mic's not on, you know.
You can hear me through the door right there, right?
Yeah, but when I have these in my ear, it's because these are crammed in there. So
Okay, you got a caller, Ken.
yeah, I got that. But I don't hear the station.
I turn it off during the break so you don't have to listen to my voice 3 times over.
I actually
The
like
United
to hear
States
the
election
station when
results.
it's on.
The WCRN News is brought to you by John the Roofer, a leader in the roofing and home improvements business for more than 70 years.
Here I thought I was sparing you.
All
right, here we go.
ROOF, or go to the internet and see johntheRoofer.com.
You're listening to the Joe Mangiacotti Show on Powerhouse Station WCRN and our affiliates. To talk to Joe, dial 508-871-7000, and you can text Joe on air in real time 7297-8388, or email textjoeontheradio@gmail.com. And now back to the most interesting man in the world. His tears cure cancer. Too bad he never cries. Common sense talk for the common sense citizen.
And we're back. Thanks for joining us on the Monday edition of the Joe Mangiacotti Show from the Box Drop Middlesex Mattress Outlet Studios. I'm Joe Mangiacotti, reminding you that the phones are open and available at 508-871-7000, 508-871, our text line as well at 617-297-8388. And let's check it because we do have a text that came in. Oh, nice. Appreciate it. Someone said that they're taking a break from Clay and Buck to listen in. You know who those are, Ted?
No, I have not heard of Clay.
Well, they're the two gentlemen that, not that he can ever be replaced, but the great Rush Limbaugh, the EIB network is still in existence.
Now that you mention
Right.
it fills in the gray matter.
Right. There you go. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Texter. I do appreciate that tremendously. It is a compliment. Absolutely. When Mr. Snerdly there called and asked if I wanted to pick up the mantle from Rush, I said, I can't right now. Move on to Clay and Buck. But so I turned him down.
Well, it's good of you to know your limitations.
Yeah.
And anyway, Joe, the mantle on that fireplace is pretty huge.
Yeah, that is very true. All right, folks, that was nice. And the first time I've ever had Raymond Aurora on the radio in any capacity, and I really do enjoy watching his commentary. Ted, he nails it all the time. So hopefully he will remain a friend of the show, and he'll come back from time
And
to
he
time.
remains a gentleman while he does it.
Oh yeah, he does a great job. And so he's I think he is regular on Laura Ingraham, right? He's a regular in it. I think he's one of the producers. And then you see him pop up on The Five and all these other shows. I'd like to see him on Gutfeld.
Yeah,
I don't think he's been on that yet.
I don't know if the level of dignity he requires for his reporting would mix with Gutfeld.
Well, I don't know. Gutfeld's had some pretty heavy hitters on.
Absolutely,
you know,
he has.
and
it's just
and he's killing the ratings, man.
Yeah, it's the humor part though.
It's the humor part.
I think Ray is a serious kind of guy.
So the book, and if you want, I can send you the PDF of this if you want to read the book, Ted. But go to my Facebook page, folks, or to rayaurora.com, The Spider Who Saved Christmas. And I'm so glad he gave us the backstory, because when I read this, I was slightly embarrassed, even though I was alone, that I didn't know this story. Because I'm like, if this is a biblical story that I'm supposed to know, and I don't know it, boy, if my mom was alive, she would not be happy about that. But he gave the backstory. So it got lost in time. So that kind of makes me feel a little bit better. 508-871-7000. Let me jump to the phone. Ken in Bolton's been waiting patiently. Hey, Ken. Thanks for holding on, man.
Good afternoon, Joe.
Afternoon. Did you enjoy Raymond?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, he does a good job.
And let me just tell the listeners, if they're listening by radio, if you have a chance to watch by YouTube, you get bonus coverage where you get to hear some of the interaction between the two of you during the commercials.
Yeah, because the feed for the audio is what's in my headset. So if you're watching YouTube, you're going to hear Ted and I off air talking, which we have to always remember, Ted. We got to remember that's going out to the world. And
this is a family show.
So on that note, as you know, Ken, because I think we brought this up on the weekend show, right? The fact that YouTube has recently granted me, they blessed me to be able to stream live and to monetize if I want, and all that kind of jazz that goes with it. But they removed one of the weekend shows, and and it's because, well, first they removed when Sunday, blocked it because the music, because I let it run through Mike's show, and Mike's bumper music has copyrights, and I totally forgot about that, so they blocked it. But then I got an email this morning that said, no, we removed it because we don't like what you talked about. So they said the team has reviewed your content. Unfortunately, we think it violates medical misinformation policy. So they removed my show from the 7th because apparently they thought the conversation about vaccinations and whatever didn't meet with their MDs. So they removed my Sunday show.
That is just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
When you stop and think about it, with all that we've been through the past year and a half, we can't talk about this topic.
I know.
How dare they?
I know.
Dare they?
I know that both sides of the aisle, folks, have a problem with the big tech companies and so forth, but for different reasons. But still, Section 230 has got to be removed or altered, because they have got to either be a publication or a platform. And if they're a platform, then you don't have that ability to decide, I don't like that conversation. And I don't care if somebody is on there talking about the earth being flat, right? That's their right. If they believe the earth is flat, that's fine. You have one or two things you can do: debate them on the issue or ignore them. But to have the attitude, if I don't agree with what you say or what you believe, you must be silenced. You must agree with me, or you can't have a voice. That's where we're at. I mean, we're beyond anything Orwell thought would happen.
Joe, do you mean censored?
There's a word. I just made that word up, actually. Censored. That's my new word. But what I'm saying, man, is it's got to be fixed. And when the red wave comes, I hope that they have the spine, meaning the GOP, to fix this stuff and make it one or the other.
Actually, Joe, on your conclusion, I disagree with you. Let me
Yeah.
explain why.
Okay.
I think the
Hey,
big tech.
kill that call. He disagrees with me. I don't want to.
Hold on. Let me check. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
You can't
sir.
listen to him if he doesn't agree with me.
Let me please use the appropriate syllables.
I'll have to remove this portion of the broadcast. What's up, Kim? What your point is? Yeah, why do you disagree with me?
I disagree with you because they're slitting their long-term throats. There are new models that will emerge.
Yep.
Will serve us and everybody.
Yeah.
I suspect Trump being just one of the many, but there are already many popping up. Locals.
Yeah. Well, matter of fact, I said to Ted before we came on, because I was telling him what YouTube did to me on yesterday's show. I'm going to switch over to Rumble. So starting Saturday, we'll just stream live on Rumble. I'll pay. You got Rumble. You have to pay a fee.
Yeah.
So I'll pay the fee.
It's a business decision on your part.
That's all. So
and the fee will probably go down. More and more people use it. Yeah, sure.
So I'm just going to make that switch.
You're making my point, Joe.
Yeah. Well, no, but the point is, but I still maintain that Section 230 is antiquated. It's out of date. It was something that they thought they needed to put in there in the 90s when they really didn't know what the internet was. They had a tiger by the tail, and they had no idea what this was going to be. There were people in the 90s still who thought this was a phase, it was a fad, that it was going to go away. They didn't understand it. So they put that in there to let it flourish and let it exist. Okay, now that's 30 years ago. Time to look at this. I mean, this ties into my whole issue or point about sunset clauses. I was saying, I think over the weekend, I found one of my old push cards from my Senate race in 1992. And one of the biggest issues on my push card 30 years ago was sunset clauses. And that means that every time I think everything should have one. Every time the legislature puts a law into place or a program into place, it should be built into that piece of legislation that it goes away in a year or 5 years or 10 years. In order for it to exist, it has to come up on the floor, be redebated and revoted on, or it automatically goes away. But it's the other way, Ken. Once something get in, and that's what they did with these Build Back Better legislation and infrastructure. They shortened the time and said that it was the price tag was lower. That's just shortened the time. They know once they get it in, it's there forever, and we got to fund it forever. So hey, it goes away. What's your thought, Ken?
Finish up on the topic is that my analogy is whenever they try to change this, they're going to make it worse. It's going to be the equivalent of Andre the Giant trying to hold your little puppy Teddy. You follow me?
Yeah, I love him and hold him and squeeze him. Yeah.
It just won't work. It's going to make it worse. So let me cross over to my topic. I'm sure you follow at least some of what's going on with this so-called $450,000 payoff to illegal immigrants.
The garbage story Joe Biden told Peter Doocy. It was a garbage
but did
story.
You catch the latest?
Yeah. When he's walking that back?
What he's doing is that he was asked the second time,
mm-hmm.
and he went nutso, saying about how awful the previous administration was to illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
And this is only right. First he denies it, and then he says, no, it has to happen.
Yeah, and he's backing off the amount. But then he was clear when Peter Doocy asked him about that. It was absolutely clear that either he had no idea about the story, wasn't briefed, or totally forgot about it and didn't remember the story, because he really thought Peter Doocy was giving him a story. Okay, so
then it came from the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We're watching it, and something's gonna happen, but you're gonna make it incentivize people coming here, and this isn't a good thing.
As to what's really going on, I think he was never told what was going on.
I kind of agree that too. I don't think he's told about 80% about what goes on. Ken, thank you for the call. You got to take a quick break. Joyce, I know you're hold on for the break. I'll come to you right after we come back here from the Box Drop Middlesex Mattress Studios, the Joe Mangiacotti Show, 508-871-7000. All of a sudden, I got allergies or something kicking in.
Enjoy sitting down with your family for an Italian home-cooked meal? A trip to Ziti's is just...
Got to keep the air moving in there while the sun is coming through.
I do. I have
it
it right.
stirs up the electrons.
I have it right there. Actually, I have this little fan I put aside. I'm trying to remember to bring it in, that will just sit and it will move the air right around the seat. But next Monday, I'll plan on doing this from my home studio.
And you can just have her say, Joyce is online too. You don't have to see it.
Yeah. Well, usually the chat's open, but we can also open a chat.
Yeah, but it's one more screen. You don't need it. She can talk to you like this.
I understand that, but it's good to have a chat thing open because I need to sometimes send something to her, but I can't say it over the air.
Say it during the break.
Yeah, but what if I want her to
send her a text?
That's what I'm saying. But instead of a text, just have a chat window open. No, just open a chat window. Why make it more difficult?
Joe, that's my point exactly.
It's more difficult for me to text while I'm live on the air than it is to have a screen and type while I'm talking. It's nothing to do that. It's harder to pick a phone up. Look at a little screen.
To why though, and I'm not going to explain it to you again.
What?
So no, we don't need to do it. You do it that way. We'll see how it works.
There you go. Rumble time. Oh, we got a response to the text here. Joe, super idea regarding Rumble. You don't need to be censored.
One minute. Only so many nodes on a XL network.
You has never been
baby,
easier.
here we go.
WCRN's Best in Business List. The best way to find the certified professionals you can count on when you need them most. Find reliable local professionals like G&M Pavement Maintenance. Keep your pavement safe and avoid costly repairs. Bob Martell at Positive Results Hypnosis. Let Bob help you lose weight, quit or reduce stress. Or John the Roofer, over 65 years of solving your roofing needs while delivering excellent service. See the complete Best in Business list at WCRNradio.com. From your full-service radio, AM 830 WCRN.
You're listening to the Joe Mangiacotti Show on Powerhouse Station WCRN and our affiliates. To talk to Joe, dial 508-871-7000, and you can text Joe on air in real time at 617-297-8388, or email textjoeontheradio@gmail.com. And now back to the most interesting man in the world. He brings a knife to a gunfight just to make the odds even. Common sense talk for the common sense citizen.
All right, welcome back to the Joe Mangiacotti Show from the Box Drop Middlesex Mattress Outlet Studios. I'm Joe Mangiacotti. 508-871-7000 to join the conversation. 508-871-7000. And thanks for the text, folks. Yeah, so I will set that up this week. So Saturday, I will we'll live stream on Rumble, and I'll just move off the YouTube because it just I cannot be second guessing every other word. Whether or not it's okay with one of these dweebs that they've assigned as a fact checker.
I'm going to judge you. I'll be the judge. I'll make judgments about you for you if you wish.
Why would you stop? I mean, but the thing about these fact checkers, I mean, who are these people? They're just political operatives. Most of them have come from a Clinton or Obama administration hack somewhere that they throw into the Facebook and Google office and become fact checkers. And we didn't used to have these people.
You're being way too nice. These are people who don't have much going on in their life, and they find a way to affect others by imposing their point of view.
To me, they're bullies. I mean, they're just bullies. That's it. 508-871-7000. Joyce, thank you for waiting patiently. I appreciate that. Did you enjoy Raymond Aurora coming on? I thought he did a great job. And if you get a chance, check out his his children's book. It's a cute read.
Guess
Spider
what?
Who Saved Christmas.
Guess what?
What?
I don't read, and well, I read, but you know what? I've read enough books, and my husband has, so we don't need to read anymore. But that's for people. That's their choice.
Yeah. But
Okay.
this is a children's book, and it's a cute story, and it's a biblical story. I think you would like it.
No.
Okay.
I already know. all
Would you
about-
like me to read it to you some evening?
No.
All right. I'll lay it down on an audio file
No.
and send it to
I've
you.
already, I've had you on. I've been listening, so I know who you had on.
Ted, she's saying, I've heard enough of your voice. You do not have to read a book for me. Yeah.
You and me, Joyce.
Yeah.
Right.
Fantastic.
Okay. No, the point is, when I called, I said, "Oh, good morning," and I said, "Oh no, it's good afternoon."
I know. I did that all last week too. Yeah. After 15 years now on weekend mornings, right? It's I'm in the studio in this microphone. Good morning is programmed to come out, so I had to get used to saying good afternoon.
Well, guess what? I like it better in the afternoon. You don't know in the morning. See, you guys early. This house is not. We're not early birds.
I know. But see, at least all you have to do is set your clock right to come on at 6 a.m. and stay in bed.
No,
and listen.
I know what I do. You don't. But you know what? That's another story.
I don't need to know. I'm just saying, in general, I have to get up at 3:30 and shower and
guess
change and
what?
get dressed and drive in.
Good luck to you. It's
I
so
know, right?
black. Forget it. My husband says, forget it.
Yeah, I know. Well, eventually we'll be moving more
My
days,
husband works
Joyce.
for himself, and he would not plan a day where he has to get up where it's black, and it's not going to happen.
Right. Well, eventually as time goes on, we'll add more weekdays, Joyce. So.
I just want.
Oh, see, that's what you hear at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have a couple right across the street. Well, actually, they're not across the street, but we can see their house. They used to have a rooster.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? This stupid thing would even cock-a-doodle-doo or whatever they do here, all kinds of crazy stuff. Even through the afternoon, and the people that lived around him complained, and he had to get rid of it.
Ah. See, if I ever got a rooster, I'd be like, here's the rule. You get up at 9. I don't want to hear one word out of you till at least 9 a.m. Keep them in the dark.
I've ever been early for work, except for all those daylight savings days. Lousy farmers.
I thought it was she was complaining about somebody with the rooster. I said, "Oh, we've already been through that. Don't worry about it."
Yeah. Do they have chickens though, Joyce? Do they get the fresh eggs at least, or is it just the rooster?
Yeah, well, see, that's right. They still have chickens over there.
There you go.
There you go.
And there's a big difference because my buddy Mark, he's not with us anymore, unfortunately, passed away. But he had the chicken in the coops, and I'd stop over, and he'd always have the eggs on the counter that they pulled out, and they'd be warm for a while.
Incredible, the
difference. And he'd give me some to take home. I'd make an omelet or whatever the next day, and just when you crack that egg, the intense yellow of the yolk and everything,
Try
it's
to make
so.
like a hollandaise sauce with those fresh eggs. It's another world.
Yeah, it's very different. And then you start to wonder, what the heck are we getting at the supermarket? Like they made it in a lab or something.
No, New Jersey.
Worse.
Uh-huh.
So Joyce, what's on your mind?
What's on my
What
mind?
topic?
now?
Do you with the 450,000 to illegal immigrants?
Yeah,
The
well, no,
the
you know
supply
what?
chain.
This
What?
phone's going to be going dead. You know what? I know it's going to be going dead. It needs to be recharged. But I just wanted to let you know that what's his face? Peter Blute wasn't on.
Oh no, Jerry Doherty sat in for him yesterday.
Yeah, and I liked him, and I said, I told him I even liked his voice.
I heard you. I was listening on the way home, and I heard you call up, and you said I like you, and I like your voice.
That's right,
baby. Yeah, baby.
And guess what?
He blushed.
Did you hear what I said? And did you hear who called and he didn't like what I said? Joel, our friend Joe E.L.L.
Joe, I heard Joe on. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Did you hear when he mentioned Joyce?
No, I didn't catch that, Joe.
Oh, come on. He doesn't like me, and I don't like him.
That's okay. Yeah. I don't even remember what Joe's problem was this time.
He's got a problem because he's a Democrat.
Well, I know, but what was the issue yesterday? I don't remember. Whatever it is, Joe knows how to dial. He knows how to call up.
Yeah, he identified himself to Jerry, and you were in the studio with us as a self-appointed ideologue.
Yeah, that's okay.
And he was happy with that.
Yeah, that's fine. He comes from and Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you come from a newspaper editor background, right? Wasn't he a editor in New York for a long time? Industry. He's just on that side of the aisle, and I always like it when Joe calls Joyce, only because it's the other side. And
I know it's the other side.
And I like the other side.
You know what? The other. Well, you know what? That's why he and Peter Blue now talk a lot about sports.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know what he's talking about on other issues.
Okay.
This I know for fact.
All right. So, hey, I read it. So anyway, Joyce, the infrastructure bill passed Friday night, loaded with a bunch of stuff. We're going to learn more and more as it comes out. But hey, I really wish that it got trimmed down a little bit. But hey, I'm going to be on Thursday for Political Thursday this week with Jerry at 10 o'clock. So you'll be able to listen to.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Yeah, you know what? You think I have nothing else to do but listen to everything?
Well, that's why I'm giving you the schedule. Get your other stuff done on the off days. I expect you to be by the radio Thursday at 10 and Saturday and Sunday morning.
You do, huh?
Absolutely.
Well,
We want to see your papers.
See your papers.
Let me tell you. Wait a minute here. There's other stuff, and plus, you don't even know what I do. You don't know my routine. I don't know yours.
No, you don't. But Joyce, I always do appreciate the fact when you do listen and you call. I have to say that. I appreciate that. And thank you very much for that. All right, folks, we're coming up to the end of the edition of the Joe Mangiacotti Show from the Boxdrop Middlesex Mattress Outlet Studios. And as I was just saying, this is my week with Jerry Doherty for Political Thursday at 10 o'clock. I'll be in studio with Jerry. We'll see, a lot can happen between now and Thursday, Ted, on the political landscape.
Thursday. That's on Thursday?
Well, we thought we'd keep it on Thursdays, given the name and all. We did about as much research and market research into that name as we did for the Joe Mangiacotti Show. So we just like to get right to the fact.
I thought I was on that marketing committee.
No, we just put you in a room with Skittles and a microphone. That's all. Nothing else was happening. I'll tell you. But Thursday. So anyway, the point is, follow us on the social media platforms at Joe Mangi Show, MANGI. I will do the work to. I have a Rumble account already, but I will make the investment to the cost, and we'll start streaming because I don't have to. I just don't want to worry about that every time I have a show. Is they're going to get knocked off because they don't like the topic matter. But that'll wrap up Monday's edition, folks. Thank you for joining me. I'm Joe Mangiacotti from the Boxdrop Middlesex Mattress Studios. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.